Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's talk about the Cowboys, the team that everybody loves to love and some, well, I guess they love to hate. Cowboys aren't making a playoff run. Not possible. One and done. And it's not my opinion, Cowboys fans. Don't get mad at me. I am simply delivering a message of statistics that Dak Prescott has delivered to me over the course of his career. Now, why do I say they won't make a playoff run? Because to make a playoff run, you have to beat playoff teams. And over the course of Dak Prescott's history, as we look at it, they just don't do that. Now, Dak Prescott versus non-playoff teams over the course of his career, 33-10. But playoff teams, 9-17. But let's zoom in a little bit, shall we? 2019 and 2020, 9-2 versus non-playoff teams. But versus playoff teams, 1-9. I know what y'all thinking. Dak Prescott got paid. Dak Prescott got healthy. So clearly 2021 will be different. But will it? Dak Prescott this year, 8-2 versus non-playoff teams, 2-2 versus current playoff teams. So to assume that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are going to make a playoff run is to assume a statistical outlier. To assume that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are going to make a playoff run is to assume a statistical anomaly. To assume that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are going to make a playoff run is to assume, no. It's to hope that Dak and the Cowboys can do something that Dak nor the Cowboys have been able to do. Because just this year, versus playoff teams, it's a 50-50 chance that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys will win. Essentially what I'm saying is for the Cowboys to make a playoff run, you're hoping on a coin flip. So that's what I think. But I got to ask Joy Taylor, what's your confidence level in the Dallas Cowboys making a playoff run?
I didn't bring any props. Always go tails, right?
Tails never fails.
Tails never fails. Always go tails, right? I've never called coin toss, obviously. Yes, the Cowboys can make a playoff run, Emmanuel, and I'm very confident in that. Why even bring up the stats of what they've done against playoff teams in years past? All that matters is this year. This is a different team. You have different players. You have a different defensive coordinator. You have playmakers all over the place that have developed. They just hung a 50-burger on Washington. 56 points. So we can't talk about them slumping anymore. And I don't want to hear about the teams that are injured and COVID. Everybody's dealing with that right now. So enough with that. It's equal across the board. Everyone is vulnerable to injuries right now. Everyone is vulnerable to Omicron. Everyone's dealing with it. So that's not even an excuse. The Cowboys have held their opponents to 20 or fewer points in 4 straight in 6 of their last 7 games. So it's not even all on Dak. When we talk about what Dak does, and we know what Dak does well, he's wonderful intangibles. He's very consistent. Outside of his major injury, he's always available. We know what he's capable of doing. They have playmakers all over the place. But the most important thing to me is how they're winning. Defensively, Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs, who's being talked about as an MVP now. By Deion Sanders, but you know the conversation is out there, and we know what he does. We know, but we know what he does. We know what Micah Parsons does. We know what that defense does. They have playmakers all over the place, and when you're going into the playoffs, being consistent and having a defense that can take the ball away and they don't turn it over, that's important to me. So I think that they're a different team this year. I say this with the slightest drop of hesitation because it is the Cowboys and they have been known to burn out in the playoffs, but I do think that they are fully capable of making a run this year.
I'm all in. I'm all in on the Cowboys. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
I'm all in on the Cowboys. I think you nailed it. I think there's a different feel with this team, and it's a defensive feel that changes my perception of them because Dak doesn't have to do it all. Those 3 monsters up front in Parsons, Gregory, and DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean,
Beast.
Those guys are out of this world right now. DeMarcus Lawrence is picking off quarterbacks and running it back for 6 points. You get one of those in the playoffs, bro, that is like makes your life so nice as a quarterback. I feel like they're going to get tested these next 2 weeks, right? They got to run into Arizona, and then they got the Eagles.
Yep.
Arizona's going to throw it all over the yard. They're going to get tested in their back end in the secondary. Then the Eagles can run it all over the yard. So they rush it for like over 200 yards a game. So they're going to get tested up front again. They handle those 2 games, or really this next one, they can potentially rest a little bit for the last one. But this is a team that's going to be just as healthy, if not healthier than anyone else, have the playmakers across the board that have finally shown up and finally started playing together, finally playing complementary football. It's not all on your quarterback, but when you need him, you know he's there. I like it.
So this is what doesn't make sense to me, Joy. A lot of things in life don't make sense, but this doesn't make sense more than anything that doesn't make sense in my life. Mark Sanchez has once cashed a check that had Jerry Jones' signature on it, right, playing for the Cowboys. Marcellus Wiley, he's once cashed a check that had Jerry Jones' signature on it. So I fully understand how they are blindly in love with the Cowboys. They've been on the Cowboys' payroll before. I have not. Joy Taylor, to my knowledge, you have not.
No.
But your blind affinity for the Dallas Cowboys is a little baffling to me. Like, theirs I get. His I get. Jerry Jones is going to text him after the show. Hey, Mark, thanks for what you said. Make sure you hit that direct deposit. But you, Joy, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if I were to look and predict the NFC teams that are going to make the NFC Championship game, we can probably say the Buccaneers and the Packers. At least that's what the betting gods would say. And the AFC teams, the betting gods would say more than likely the Bills and the Chiefs. I don't think I'd have any wild disagreement on this set to say Bucs, Packers, Bills, Chiefs. Aaron Rodgers is 4-0 versus playoff teams this year. Tom Brady is 6-1 versus playoff teams this year. Patrick Mahomes is 3-2 versus playoff teams this year. Josh Allen is 4-4 versus playoff teams this year. So at least on the NFC side, the NFC quarterbacks are a collective 10-1 versus playoff teams this year. Dak Prescott is 2-2. I genuinely am not a pessimist. I'm not a Cowboys hater. I still got 214 and my area code and my zip code is still 75240. My mail still goes to mom and pop's house. I'm just a truth teller. And what I'm trying to tell you all truthfully is that the statistics show the Cowboys aren't going to make a playoff run, not because they don't want to, not because y'all don't want them to. They're just not going to.
The area code and the address.
Yeah, he just wants to make sure his card don't get pulled when he goes to Dallas.
Yeah.
First of all, the Green Bay rushing defense is terrible. Terrible.
31st?
Yes. That's bad.
Suspect.
That's suspect, yes. And I love Green Bay. And they've been really impressive with everything that they've overcome this year. Aaron is playing with a broken toe, which I mean, I would do nothing with a broken toe. So the fact that he's actually out there playing, getting stepped on is remarkable. The Bucs are ravaged by injuries right now, and they're trying to repeat, which you know how difficult that is to do. The Cowboys defense is what in third down? First in takeaways. First in points per game. Those are numbers that matter when you're talking about postseason football. We mentioned all the playmakers that they have. It's not so much the Cowboys' offense. It's not Dak that I'm leaning into. They can be consistent and they can go over the top and make big plays. So what is it about Dallas that's making you concerned? Is it just the history? Because you got to throw that out and focus on this year.
I'm not even worried about the history. Joy, let's talk about the only number truly that matters. The only number that matters is a number in everybody's bank account, right? We can talk about, like, the number of
Jerry,
smiles
I would
I
love
get a day.
to be on the Cowboys payroll, by the way.
It's the numbers in a bank account. Joy, let me reveal.
I can't be bought.
There's a stat that blew my mind. I genuinely do mean that, Sanchez. No, I don't have nearly as much wealth as you, but as I'm starting to step into it, I genuinely realize the only number that matters is the number in a bank account. Now, realize this. Cowboys have only lost 4 games this season, and they've won 11. Miraculous. The record is phenomenal. But you realize the combined salaries of the starting quarterbacks, of the 9 quarterbacks that have beat the Cowboys, $58 million. The 4 quarterbacks, not 9, the 4 quarterbacks that beat Dak Prescott, $75 million. So the 4 quarterbacks that Dak Prescott has lost to are the highest paid. And in the NFL, you get paid based on production. You get paid based on talent. What does that say? Very simply, it says that when Dak Prescott has to fight fair, when he has to fight people that are as rich as him or as talented as him, the Cowboys just don't win. When he fights Taylor Heineke, when he fights Glennon, when he fights Daniel Jones, when he fights Jalen Hurts, of course Dak Prescott and the Cowboys win those ball games. All I'm saying, Sanchez, is of course the Cowboys look great right now. And Mike Tyson would look great in a bout versus Floyd Mayweather. Any heavyweight's going to look great versus a lightweight. But what happens when a heavyweight has to fight a heavyweight?
Hold up. I was there in 2016 or whatever Dak's rookie year was when he led the Cowboys as a rookie, beat Green Bay. Really, he beat them in that home playoff game. And then Aaron throws this crazy 3rd and 17, 3rd and 20 or whatever, rolling left and chucks the ball to the sideline, gives them a field goal to win.
Who won that game?
Dak won that game before Aaron Rodgers showed up, okay? The last play of the game. He won the game, all right? The game was over. Just like when Aaron Rodgers beat Jimmy Garoppolo at Lambeau, Jimmy won the game, and Aaron came in and stole
this
it.
is my biggest issue with Cowboys fans.
Aaron is the Grinch.
My biggest
he
issue.
wears green for a reason. He comes in and steals stuff that's meaningful to you, like winning a playoff game or a big game on Sunday Night Football for Jimmy.
Go ahead.
All I'm saying is he won the damn game as a rookie. Bro, he's got it. He's got it. When they need him, he'll be there. And he's got a way better squad than he had that year. Now, I'd like to see Zeke without that knee brace. I'd like to see that run game, step up a little bit. But they're plenty fine because of the way they're playing on defense. He has more of a support system than he's ever had. They're poised and primed to make a run.
Joy, what's the name of that podcast you had?
Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Oh, here we go.
Boy, y'all got me up here thinking maybe I'm crazy. Because I was at the game in 2016. I wasn't on the side. I was on the sidelines. I just was not in uniform. I was at the game. And I swore the Cowboys lost because they didn't advance. Like, I swore with everything in me.
Said they lost,
but Mark Sanchez has me thinking maybe I'm crazy because the Cowboys won the game. Well, Dak Prescott won the game, but Aaron Rodgers won the game. So I don't know. Again, I went to Texas. I didn't go to SC. So maybe my education is just not as vast as yours. But in my mind, the Cowboys did not win the game. That's the thing about Cowboys fans that is wild to me, Joy Taylor. But I just need any final thoughts. How are you convinced?
I mean, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I am a defense person, though, and I am okay with winning ugly in December. What I care about what you're doing going into the postseason is, one, obviously health, which COVID aside, and it's looking like we're getting some adjustments to that, so that might be a bright spot going into the postseason. COVID aside, are you healthy going into the postseason? Are you winning games? I don't care how, because we're dealing with weather. Other teams are injured. You may be banged up. I don't care if you're winning ugly in December. That doesn't matter to me.
2 yeses.
Okay? And how's your defense playing?
I'd say pretty well.
So I feel good about it. I don't.
Maybe I'm crazy.
No, maybe I'm not.
Oh, gosh. Well, coming up, we got to talk about another Rams NFC quarterback, Matthew Stafford. He's a top 5 quarterback in my opinion, but he is the worst at this one category that might cost the Rams their chances of winning a Super Bowl, and it has me nervous.